Today on Radio Boat Anchor, I'm going to repair this vintage White's Goldmaster 63TR metal detector. History. White's Electronics, a prominent metal detector manufacturer, had a rich history marked by innovation and a commitment to providing high-quality metal detection tools. White's Electronics began its journey in the 1950s, initially focused on the development of metal detectors for prospecting and mineral exploration. One of White's early notable contributions was the Oremaster Geiger counter, pictured here, which played a significant role in the early days of metal detection technology. White's, alongside other pioneers like Charles Garrett, played a key role in the development and adoption of the beat frequency oscillator technology, which revolutionized metal detector design and functionality. White's later gained popularity among gold prospectors with the introduction of models like the Goldmaster, which proved highly successful in finding gold nuggets. The Goldmaster series became a game changer for the company, contributing to its success in the gold prospecting market. Pictured here is my 1970 White's Goldmaster metal detector to be repaired in this video. In 2020, Garrett Electronics acquired White's Electronics, bringing together two prominent names in the metal detector industry. The Garrett Electronics website has a large collection of White's metal detector manuals in PDF format. Testing. The first step is to check the metal detector for expired batteries. Owners often forget to remove the batteries during long-term storage. The battery compartment is accessed by unclipping two latches. As you can see, the AA batteries that powered this metal detector are extremely corroded. The original battery holders had to be replaced due to corrosion. Amazon had the correct size battery holders. I will include a link to the battery holders in the description. The Goldmaster requires a 9-volt battery source provided by 6 AA batteries and a 12-volt battery source provided by 8 AA batteries. The sticker on the inside of the battery door specifies that the black battery connection goes to the 9-volt battery source, while the white connection goes to the 12-volt battery source. The model and serial number of the metal detector can also be found on the inside of the battery door. Initial testing can begin once the batteries are installed. I switch the power switch to the on position, then the battery check switch to the 9-volt position. The meter should read close to 9 volts. Note, the meter on this Goldmaster is only used to check battery voltages and not for metal detecting activities. I moved the battery check switch to the 12-volt position and once again examined the meter. The meter should now read close to 12 volts. The battery check switch can now be moved back to the off position. Once the volume control was moved to mid position, and the tuner or discriminator was moved over to the metal position, I was ready to perform the quarter test. As you can see, the hum from the speaker gets louder as the quarter is passed under the search coil. This Goldmaster metal detector was in operating condition prior to repair. So my Goldmaster metal detector was functional, but I decided to continue with the repair anyway, or maybe a better word is refurbish. Some disassembly is required before the repair or refurbishment. Step 1 was to remove the battery packs. They connect to the metal detector using 9-volt battery clips. The search coil cable must be disconnected from the control box. A yellow mark on both the plug and connector indicates the proper orientation. Once the search coil cable is disconnected from the control box, the search coil must be removed from the adjustable stem. These two thumb screws secure it in place. After the thumb screws are removed, the search coil can then be removed from the stem. Next, the adjustable stem must be removed from the control box. Two spring clips hold it in place and must be pressed down in order to slide the stem from the control box. The control box is much easier to service when disconnected from the adjustable stem and search coil. 5 screws must be removed from the left side of the control box, and another 5 screws on the right side. Then a screw under the search coil connector. My Goldmaster is missing this screw. The control box can then be opened to expose the electronics. The electronics of the Goldmaster 63TR are very simplistic, using just 8 transistors and 2 diodes. It looks like this metal detector may incorporate a Colpitts oscillator circuit based on the number of capacitors on the printed circuit board. It is a good idea to replace these electrolytic capacitors while you have this control box apart. After 55 years, electrolytic capacitors lose their capacity as their electrolyte dries up. It is important to replace electrolytic capacitors with the same capacity and same or higher working voltage. It is also important to observe their polarity when installing. One of the electrolytic capacitors that needs to be replaced is not on the printed circuit board. I made a list of required electrolytic capacitors and ordered them from my favorite supplier, Jameco Electronics. I was very excited when the box from Jameco Electronics arrived a week later, with the required replacement electrolytic capacitors. I ordered extra electrolytic capacitors so I didn't have to pay the $5 surcharge for orders under $20. Here is a picture of the replacement electrolytic capacitors soldered in place on the printed circuit board, and the additional electrolytic capacitor replaced that is not on the printed circuit board. Here is a picture of all the replaced electrolytic capacitors. It is important to remove the solder flux from the printed circuit board caused by rosin core soldering in order to do a good soldering job. I used a flux remover pen for this task. A link to flux remover pens will be included in the description of this video. A previous owner did a repair job on the battery connections by splicing new 9-volt battery clips to the existing wiring, then covering the connections with electrical tape. I cleaned up the wiring by soldering the 9-volt battery clip connections directly to the terminal strip. In addition, I labeled the 9-volt battery clips so it was easier to identify which battery pack to connect. All switch contacts and the potentiometer wiper contact were treated with deoxic contact cleaner. The contacts of the audio jack as well. I also cleaned the contact wipers and plates of the variable air capacitor used for the tuning or discriminator control. The cleaning of the capacitor's plates were more for appearance purposes as the tarnish would not affect their ability to hold an electrostatic charge. I used LaBelle 107 plastic-friendly oil to lubricate the shaft of the volume control, the battery check switch shaft once the knob was removed, and the power switch shaft with the knob removed. LaBelle 106 PTFE grease was used on the ratchet mechanism of the power switch and the battery check switch. I used Windex, my go-to cleaner, to clean the exterior of the control box bottom, the control box dashboard, the adjustable stem, and the machine screws that hold the control box bottom and dashboard together. Armor All was then used to bring back the luster of the paint on the control box dashboard and control box bottom. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser did a remarkable job of cleaning the search coil's plastic housing. It's a good idea to test electronics of the metal detector before reassembly. Reassembly. Time for reassembly. 5 screws must be installed on the left side of the control box. Another 5 screws are then installed on the right side, and a screw under the search coil connector. Then the 9-volt and 12-volt battery packs were connected to the 9-volt battery clips, which I labeled earlier. The battery packs fit into the white plastic holder, which keeps them immobilized or in place when the metal detector is moved. The battery door is then closed and latched shut. Next, the adjustable stem must be installed on the control box. 2 spring clips hold it in place. The search coil can then be installed on the stem and held in place with 2 thumb screws. The search coil's cord is wound around the adjustable stem and plugged into the connector on the control box. A yellow mark on both the plug and connector indicates the proper orientation. My Gold Master is ready for action. Conclusion. The Northeast Ohio weather prevents me from testing outside, so I decided to test it in my garage using the quarter test. As you can see, my White's Goldmaster 63TR metal detector has been rebuilt clean and is ready to hit our local beaches this summer. This was a fun little project. Please like this post and subscribe to Radio Boat Anchor so that you're alerted to my future posts. Thank you.